what's up? I'm Ollie and welcome. I'm not Ollie. I am not Ollie. No, I am not. Hey, what's up? I'm Allie and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a massive book haul to show you all because remember when I was like, I want a checkout ban from the library? I lied, apparently. Spooky season hit and I was like, well shit, there's a ton of books I want to read. Before we get into this haul, I do want to thank today's sponsor. Do you know who it is? I bet you know who it is. And it is Book of the Month. I've talked about Book of the Month so many times, just so many times at this point, because I just absolutely adore this service. This is a monthly book subscription service, and you pay about $15 a month, and you get to choose from a hand selection of new releases, upcoming titles, just a variety of genres on top of that. And so there's probably something for your taste within that. And I think it is absolutely fantastic because you cannot beat the price. It comes in a hardback book. They're all the same height. Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. If for some reason there is a month where you're just not reading or you're not interested in any of the titles, you can skip at absolutely no charge, which I think is fantastic. I do want to check, these come with a little bookmark and I love these bookmarks so much. You know, and then what happened? So I really love this service. You can also get add-on books, and I absolutely love this add-on service so much because you can get previous month's picks. You don't have to just pick that month's picks. You can choose from a different variety of books, or maybe there's a month where you want multiple books and you can get them at a discounted price. It's fantastic. You can get your first box for $9.99. I have a code down below, Hardback Hoarder, and I have a link as well if you are interested in checking out more about Book of the Month. I also have October's selections here so that you can see if any of these interest you and head over there and get your box. One of the historical fiction picks is the Lincoln Highway. This takes place in the 1950s, and we are following Emmett after he gets out of jail for manslaughter. He decides that his family has basically died off except for his brother. The farm is in like foreclosure, so his plan is to get his brother and go out to California. However, two of his friends have hidden themselves in the trunk of the car and have a whole different plan, and they decide they're going to New York City. And this goes, I think this is a span over 10 days as they travel to New York City. For a more mystery thriller pick, we have Everything We Didn't Say, and this follows Juniper at first when she is 19, and as fireworks are lighting up the sky, her neighbors are brutally murdered and her brother becomes the prime suspect. She decides to get the hickety heck out of town and doesn't return until she is an adult many years later. And she is under the guise that she is there to help a friend. However, she's really there to repair her relationship with her daughter, and along the way things start happening. History starts repeating itself and her daughter becomes the main target this time. Oh my gosh, it sounds delicious. Not delicious. That's not the right word. Delightful. Maybe not delightful either. Anyway, it sounds good. Then we have The Perishing, and this follows Lou, who wakes up one day and has like no memory at all of like her past or anything, and she is put into foster home, and she goes on to become the first Black female journalist at the Los Angeles Times, and her life just seems extraordinary, and things become even more weird when she meets a firefighter and realizes that she has been drawing this man for years, even though she has no memory of him. So she realizes that she may be an immortal sent to this world. So basically she is on a search to figure out what exactly her existence means and what she is supposed to be doing, and also figure out what all these different lifetimes are calling to her for. Another historical pick, we have Colson Whitehead's, I'm sure this is going to be highly anticipated, Harlem Shuffle, and this takes place in the 1960s in Harlem, and we follow Ray as he is kind of this beloved shop owner and tends to live this very normal life. However, he hides the fact that he comes from a line of crooks, and he ends up getting involved within a heist essentially, and things just don't go to plan. And so he now has a whole new set of clientele who are the shadiest of Harlem. Of course, he is trying to balance his good reputation while also balancing the shady part of his life and make sure that he doesn't lose his life, he doesn't lose any of his family, and that he still is a reputable man. And then what is probably my pick is the Hex, and I have seen so many people raving about just how fantastic this is, and I think it is great for the spooky season. But this is about a witch in early on in life. She gets her heart broken by Reese, and she puts a little silly spell on him and thinks it's only gonna last like a day or two. So it's years later, he comes back into town to help like recharge some ley lines. However, she realizes that her little spell has had more consequences than she thought. And as the town is under attack by all these random things, they have to work together and avoid their off the charts chemistry in order to, you know, save the town and not like get mixed up, you know. No romance between these two. Okay, sure, Jan. I am really excited about this. I think this is gonna be great, especially because I'm reading a lot of murder and mayhem and gore this month, so this will be a great palate cleanser. I'm also just so excited about that one. And then if you're ever interested in any of the add-ons, I do have 2 of the add-ons that you could possibly get, and one of which is the Book of Magic by Alice Hoffman. I know that this is another one that is highly hyped, and this one is, I believe, the conclusion to the Practical Magic series, which is about sisters who have a curse on them, and I think it has to do with the fact that anyone they love like will die. But this, I believe, is about them breaking that curse finally, and about sisters and family and motherhood and things like that. I don't think I have to sell Alice Hoffman at this point. She sells herself. And then the other one is Apples Never Fall, and this is about a family, 4 children who are now adults, who kind of were like this big family in this town, and they seem to have it all. However, they all seem pretty miserable, you know. Well, they're all adults now, and the mother actually goes missing, and everyone is looking at the father as a suspect, and like most husbands, he has a lot to hide apparently. So the kids are kind of split. They're split between half of them think that their father has done something and half of them do not, and of course it is a showdown between the family and their loyalties and the truth and secrets and all that other good stuff. And I know Big Little Lies is one of my all-time favorite books, so I'm quite excited about this one. I am going to show you the ones that I purchased this month, and it's not very many because the rest just come from the library, but I did pick up this beautiful edition of the Legend of Sleepy Hollow, and it is just like this black and white, and it's cloth bound, and it's just beautiful, and this was like $3, so I was like, I need this. If anything, I'll use it as display, but I haven't read the Legend of Sleepy Hollow, so it is something that I'm interested in, and it does have other stories by Washington Irving in it as well, so I'm quite excited to have this. I think it's just, well, it's just stunning on top of that. I also picked up the Devourers, and this is an Indian man who is researching into this, like, this race of people who are kind of closer to beast than human, and they are ruled by instincts and desires, and there is a lone woman who dares to defy them, and I do believe that this is an LGBTQ shape-shifting type thing, so I am very intrigued by this. It is absolutely stunning. The camera never does this justice. And then I also picked up Camp Slaughter. This is about a group of college kids that go camping at a cabin in the woods in PA, but there are stories around this cabin, and that is that there are cannibals. There are cannibals on the loose, y'all, so this is I'm scared. I'm scared, but so many people recommended that to me. From my fairy loot box, you may have seen, we had Afterlove, which this also could work quite well for the spooky season. It's got these beautiful pink pages, but this girlfriends, and one of them dies and ends up being kind of recruited as kind of like a Grim Reaper of a sort, and that she can go into the world and like reap souls or whatnot, but that also means that she gets to spend a little bit more time with her still alive girlfriend. I don't know, I'm sure this has to do with like kind of coming to terms with grief and loss and things like that, but I think that this sounds really great for the spooky season as well. And then, oh, I'm so excited about these Hollow Vows. It is stunning, and this is about a girl, and it has fae, that's all I need to know. It has fae, but basically her sister has been kind of given over as the bride to the Unseelie King. She strikes a pact to get her sister back with the Unseelie King, but that means that she has to go and deal with the Seelie court. And so she ends up meeting kind of under disguise kind of thing, undercover on the Seelie court, and she also is trying to help them. There's a lot of pacts being made here. So she helps the Seelie prince, and of course, like, he's very attractive and charming and whatnot. And then in order to also help the Unseelie King, she ends up coming in line with like a rogue, Unseelie rogue man who helps her on the way, and he is also handsome and charming. So I'm intrigued. I am intrigued about all the handsome and charmingness and the possibility of a really good love triangle. I love a really well done love triangle, so we will see. I'm quite excited. I'm also a little nervous. And I received a gift from Chris. Thank you so much, Chris. I've been not feeling the best, and so this was just so unexpected and put such a smile on my face, and I just really appreciate it, and thank you so much, Chris. But Chris got me. This is first person singular Haruki Murakami, and I have been meaning to read some of this author's work, and this is a collection of stories. Thank you so much, Chris. Actually said that saw this in my book shopping video, and that it is a collection of stories, and this is an author that I'm really interested in, so thank you so much. Also, I opened this up and was not expecting this as the cover underneath. It's like a VHS looking type thing. I was like, oh, this is not what I was expecting at all, but it's lovely, and I'm sure it will be amazing. I'm sorry, my ring light just messes everything up, doesn't it? And then, oh, I'm so excited! One of the Goosebumps tins! And I know this was on my wish list, but I was not expecting anyone to get this for me because it's such a like frivolous thing, but oh my god, so this is like a lunchbox tin. It does have several of the books in it. I do not plan on opening this though. I do plan on just using this as display on my shelves, but this is just so cool. This is a kind of a collector's item and whatnot, and it does have, I believe, 5 different books in it, but yeah, this is, oh my god, I love this so much. Thank you so much, Chris. This is awesome. I cannot wait to just have this displayed somewhere on my shelves. You can't even see it. I put it on the shelves so you can't even see it. Okay, well, we'll have it somewhere. On to the library books, because there are a lot of them. There's a lot of them. Now, I have already talked about a good many of these in my reacting to your horror recommendations video, so I'm not going to go into too much in depth on a lot of these. I'm just going to kind of give a general idea of what they are about. The Ruins, I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with. This is a pretty hyped horror book, and this is about a couple that goes on vacation in Mexico, and one of their friends ends up going to this Mayan ruins and doesn't come back, so then they decide to go to the Mayan ruins to try to find their friend, and of course they get kind of stuck down there, and there might be something else down there with them. So that one seems quite good, and I do believe the movie is based off of that. Also, Paul Tremblay Growing Things. This is a collection of short stories that are horror based, and that's really all I know. I don't know if there's like a main theme to them or not. Also, Summer of Night by Dan Simmons. I do believe that this is more of a classic horror, and this is about like this town, and there's like this creepy presence, crumbling presence of, I think it's a school of some sort, and basically something happens and the town kind of knows that this is like the end of like the good times, and chaos is about to rain down on them, and I do believe that this is like an entity type thing, and I know that Dan Simmons has been compared to Stephen King quite a lot, so yeah, there's someone stalking the young children, there's weird things happening, so that's just a lot of weird stuffs. Also, The Good House, another one that is about like an entity. Everyone kind of knows this house is the good house, and then we follow a character, her grandmother actually lives there, and so she goes to kind of go back and live there and try to rekindle her marriage, but something absolutely horrific happens, and so it is like years later, and she thinks that maybe her son actually woke up some sort of entity, and now they have to battle this entity within the good house. I've also heard, absolutely, I mentioned that this probably wasn't my cup of tea, but a lot of you have since recommended this to me, and I've seen it in recommendation videos since then, so I am moving it up on my TBR. We will see. We will see. Also, The Cabin at the End of the World, Paul Tremblay. I honestly could not tell you what the hickety heck this premise is. It's like a girl and her dads go to this cabin, and there's like no one nearby for miles except for like these random people show up, and they're dressed similarly, and they're carrying menacing things, and they're basically like, sorry, we gotta do this to save the world, and that's all I know. The synopsis is really big, so I'm not too sure what that includes. And then The Troop, and this is about just these boys, I think, go to camp, and normally the camp is like, you know, they're going on a camping trip type thing, and things are normally fine. However, some random stranger shows up with some sort of disease, and it is just a night filled of horror after that. So, I've heard really terrifying things about The Troop. Another horror that I mentioned in my TBR, Kill Creek, and this is about a group of authors who go to this house. They're horror authors, and it's like this haunted house type thing, and they, you know, are just like, okay, we're gonna try to write to the best of our abilities in this haunted house. That is until they have to start fighting for their lives against whatever the hickety heck is in this house. So who will be the one on top? Who is the real horror king, royalty? I don't know. Also, Cold Moon Over Babylon, and this is about, this takes place in like a small southern town, and a young girl is killed, and she decides like her murderer is on the loose, and he is rich and powerful in this town, and she decides that that simply will not do. So I believe that she goes and haunts the town. Graphic novels and manga that I picked up, Fangs, and apparently this is about a vampire who falls in love with a werewolf, and it is quite short, but it's stunning. It's a beautiful graphic novel. It's hardbound, and the art style is quite simple, but it's quite cute. So excited about that. I picked up a bunch here that I don't really know. They are middle grade graphic novels, and I'm just kind of going based on the synopsis. And the first one is Witches of Brooklyn, and I do think that this just follows a girl who discovers that there is magic within her family, and it's got just a really cute art style, and just seems like it'll be a nice little fun read for the spooky season. Picked up Hookie, I think it is, and it's got like some witchy twins on the cover. It says 2 twins, 1 prophecy, a whole lot of hijinks. And this is another one. The art style is just like too good. Now this one is a thick one, but it just looks really great for the spooky season, so I thought this one was cute as well. We also have Mel the Chosen, another one. I mean, I just picked these mostly because the art styles were just stunning, but this is about a girl who, like, she's sick of, like, her parents deciding everything for her, and, like, she just wants to be an adult. So she is chosen to actually go into a magical realm, and, you know, will she leave everything behind for this magical realm, or not? Also picked up the first 3 volumes of Blood on the Tracks, and this is a manga, and I do believe that this follows like a family, and day-to-day life just becomes kind of terrifying, I think. I'm not too sure what exactly. It's Blood on the Tracks, so, and this is recommended when I look up horror manga. That one gets recommended. I also picked up Living Room, and this is, I do believe, an age gap romance about a girl who goes to live with her grandma, and I think her grandma has a housemate, and she ends up falling for this housemate. That's all I know. And then I think, oh my god, am I at the end? Am I at the end? Oh my god, I'm at the end. Oh my gosh. So then the very last thing I have is also a middle grade, and this is Rain Is Not My Indian Name. And this is about a young girl, her best friend dies, and she kind of shuts herself off from the world, and that is until her aunt's Indian camp is receiving all this controversy, and so she has to decide, you know, how much involvement does she want to have in the Indian camp, and does she want to open herself back up. I am quoting this word for word. That is the terms being used. It does seem like this deals with issues, especially in a young perspective, of being Indigenous within a white community, I guess, and how hard that can be, and how young people are put into a place of having to decide between which type of society they want to live in. So, oh my gosh, that was, I don't even know how many do I have? There's only 32. It seemed like there was a hell of a lot more. I probably missed some. It is what it is. Oh, I also bought 20 Goosebumps books. So I didn't include those, but I bought those too. For this month's book haul, holy cow. Again, don't forget, if you are interested in Book of the Month, I do have a coupon code as well as a link down below for your very first box. So if you're interested, give that a look-see. Give it a click. So, hope that y'all have liked this video. Don't forget to subscribe to see future videos from me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!